Alright, yesterday I was going to go for a bike ride in the afternoon. Then I got in here, looked at the bike, and yeah, I turned it upside down now. Because yesterday I had a flat tire, and at the end of my walk that I took, I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity to make a how-to video, which I don't usually do. I have no experience in doing those. But I know it's high in demand, and I'm good at fixing bicycle tires because I've had to do lots of them. So I thought I'll guide you right through it. Why would you patch your tire? See, take it from me, I'm the guy who's the bicycle expert, but you will never see me in any spandex, and you will not see a bicycle collection that's worth 10 grand or more. No, I'm not that kind of a cyclist. But I get around on my bicycle, so it's basically on a commuter cyclist base. And I cycle for pure enjoyment. Cycling is a pleasure. Cycling is what I love to do. I've cycled across Canada, coast to coast. I have some videos up on that. Barbara and I together, we have done 2 tours so far in Colombia. I'm still working on a video from the first trip that we did last year. And there are about 40 something videos up on my channel right now. And it's a playlist. It's Colombia Bike Trip 2020. They're all edited on my iPad, which at the time I never knew how to do. I learned it during this trip. And I'd be thrilled if you watched some of those and give me a thumbs up if you like it. Now, some of them, the sound was terrible. I had to put music over the wind noises and stuff, but I did the best I could, and I think you will see a lot of Colombia that you actually don't see in other videos, because on a bicycle we go everywhere, tourist destination or not. You know, we pick a route that was not really popular with tourists, and it shows you a side of Colombia that is not promoted, that is even in travel advisories not recommended. However, this is where the best authentic experiences are. You will need the following items: wrenches, tire levers, a patch kit, an abrasive, and a pump. First step is turn your bike upside down, because that's easier like that to take the wheel out. The second step, I'm going to tilt the camera here so I can point it right out there. It's, see, there's the brake. Can you see that? There's the noodle, they call it, for the brake. Then you have to unhook that, because that gives you clearance to take your tire out of there. See, now the brakes are open, they are not touching the wheel. Next step, I have to undo the wheel nuts. I have a universal wrench here. Alright. Take this off. I just back it off. And the other side is here. Hoping that is visible. Alright. Yeah, I'm not the most organized, as you can probably tell. See, I take the derailleur like this, and there, I got my wheel out already. Now this wheel, as you can see, is not the cleanest. Take a shop towel here, and the good stuff for cleaning, WD-40. Put a little bit on that rag. The shop towel, they're paper, but they're ideal for this. You can throw them out after. See, one of the problems I have here is that I am working in an environment where the temperature is still below zero. So right now I can't even get this off. It's ice. Anyways, let's get the, like, I don't care. We'll just leave it dirty as is. Well, what I got here is my usual patch kit. There are patches in here and the adhesive. When you're on the road, I highly recommend you take one of those with you. That's a spare tube. Yeah, there's good reasons for it. You have wind noise outside. So when you pump up your tube, you may not be able to find the leak. In this case, we're inside, even though it's cold here, we're going to fix that tire. I recommend you have a pair of those. These are tire levers. If you try to get this tire off with using a screwdriver, chances are that you will damage your tube by piercing it. With these ones here, I work my way around until I get the tire over the rim. From start to finish, it's supposed to take about 10 minutes. Well, you cannot time me because I'll edit this to make sure that you don't see all the unnecessary stuff. But see, now I got the tire this far. Well, you know what? I actually forgot a very important step, because since we're looking for a puncture, I could have very well done this before even starting to take off the tire. Well, it's never too late, so I'm doing it right now because it can, before I take the tube out of there, it can help me find exactly where in the tube I need to look. Like a rough inspection right now, it doesn't show anything. Well, let's get this tire and tube off of here. This is really tight on the rim. The tire levers, one more time here, and the rim is cold. It's not very pleasant on my fingers right now, but I am doing it. The conditions here in Edmonton, they are what they are. It doesn't mean that we stop riding our bikes or we stop anything. Even I have to be careful too because I have studs in this tire. Trust me, it's almost done. See, now I got it off, and I can actually take off the cap. I'll put that aside because I don't want to lose it. There. See, this is a winter tire. I got studs in there and they're homemade. And that has an implication for me today because what I've done in order to protect my tube from these screw heads that are in here, I have a liner in there. See, this is my liner. And as you can see, yeah, it's already got damage. Yeah, what's going on here? See, there are some holes in here, so it is entirely possible that the flat tire comes from rubbing against those screw heads that you see there. And it's for the studs. You know, for winter cycling, you need extra traction. How we accomplish that is with studs. And what I do to find where my puncture is coming from, I usually run my hand very carefully on the inside of the tire. Now, that's not necessarily recommended, I have to admit, because if there's something really sharp in here, you can cut your finger. But however, I've noticed that if I don't do it this way, often I will not find the object that caused the leak. Right now I cannot tell. There doesn't seem to be anything that really would have punctured the tube. So I put this aside for the moment. I pick up my tube, which is totally deflated, and it is entirely possible that the wear and tear from these screw heads rubbed right through the tube. Got the tube here, got a little pump. It's a dollar store pump, you don't need nothing fancy, but this one is actually not the best one that I have. It's getting really old. I just want to pump it enough so that I can see where my leak is coming from. Where my tire is leaking. I feel something right there. The funny thing is, I can usually feel it with my lips more than I can with my hands. Well, I have the rough area here and I can see some abrasion on the tire, so it is probably due to the screws. Yes, the studs. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I definitely found the leak, and it is definitely a result of the way I do my studs. Hopefully this is not going to happen again. If it's in a slightly different position when it's mounted, then it might get me through the rest of the winter. I already marked it, dang. Right there. I found out that it was the studs on my tire that had started rubbing through the liner and eventually the tube, and it caused a puncture, and I had to fix it. Now, when I was recording that, one of the cameras wasn't working the way it should have, and you couldn't see what I was doing. So this was an important part where I was applying the patch to the tube. So in order to complete this video, today I'm inside and I'm going to retrace the steps. I have a tube here that has already 6 patches, but at this point it is holding the air. I just pumped it up and I wasn't too sure if it was good, but in order to do this demonstration we need a leak. We need to make this real. So guess what I'm gonna do? Where is a nice spot that has no patch? Right there. See that? Right here, I'm gonna poke this. Big puncture. There you go. You can all see this, right? Okay, even though I know exactly where this is, I'm still going to mark my puncture right there. What I need to do next is first I have to roughen the surface of the tube. And I found a rock on the beach. I believe this, at one point it used to be part of a brick, but the ocean washed it, and I thought this was so cool. And at the same time, it's small and it's useful. I can roughen up the surface of my tube with this even better than with any kind of sandpaper or rasp that they usually supply with the patch kit. So I decided to hold on to it. I lay this flat. This makes it easier, and it works really well. The next step, of course, is to apply the adhesive. See, I got a fairly big tube here. When you buy a patch kit in Canada, they give you one that's not even like maybe 1/10 of this size. It's ridiculous. But go to Colombia to buy your patch kits and you will get what you deserve. I put the adhesive on fairly generously because I want this to work. Cap this, and now I am going to let this dry. See, I got the spot here with the adhesive on, and this isn't going to be ready right away because this is just the way the stuff works. You have to wait about 10-15 minutes and then you can apply your patch. Last Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember, I had to do this in the shed. It was minus 10 degrees there and this stuff just wouldn't dry. In my house it's a lot warmer. I'm not freezing. I'm actually kind of enjoying this because, you know, when it's cold it's no fun to do this. But the reality teaches us that you don't get to choose when your tire goes flat. Last weekend was the perfect example. It's April and we're still in the middle of winter. The weather that's outside, it's normally for January. But this year, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, this is dry enough now, if you can see this. So I peel off the silver backing like this. Peel it right off. and it reveals a red and kind of tacky side of the patch, and you don't touch this with your fingers. It's important, don't touch it, because you want the maximum strength to your patch. Now I put this as flat as I can get it. I got so much clutter here, and I put it on there like this. And now it's crucial that I put a lot of pressure on there and go all around with my thumb. And that's all I need to do. And now I can peel off this paper, and sometimes the red patch tends to want to come back off, and I just put my fingernail there so it doesn't do that. Now this patch is done, and I can demonstrate this by pumping up the tire, and you'll see that it will not lose air, and you can put this on your bike tire and it's going to be just as good as new. And the cost of doing this, I don't even know. You'd have to figure out, I think this was probably the equivalent to a couple of dollars, this patch kit. You get the picture. A new tube is still like $5 or $6, sometimes 10, depending where you go, and especially in Canada, they like to get more money out of you. This tube is as good as new. Patches are pretty. See, we got lots of them on there, but we got the perfect bicycle tube, and we can do many more kilometers with that. Thanks for watching. Hope you find it useful. I'll give it a good number of pumps so that I have enough air in there to see right away whether it's still leaking or not. Like normally in a bike shop, you don't have sub-zero temperatures. This is not the ideal situation, but you have to assume that sometimes you might have to do this at the side of the road somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So you just do what you have to do, right? Okay. It seems like I'm not losing any air. Yeah. Right here is where I put the patch. You can tell that it sticks really well because you know how it's not coming off even though the tube is slightly deformed. So I know that I have patched my puncture. Now I'm letting the air out to a degree. I don't let all the air out because I want the tube to have its shape, that to put it right back into the tire like this. It's very soft. And it's going to work like that. I'm going to double check this again. Yeah, it's on the side here, but yeah, that's right where the studs are. The last few bike rides that I did, this tire wasn't really as firm as it could have been, but I didn't bother pumping it up because sometimes when the tire is a little bit softer, it helps with traction. However, it also causes rubbing, and that can cause a puncture. And that's quite obviously what happened here. So now I have to just put everything back. I put the liner over it like before I put it back into the tire. I don't know. I'm just going to take a chance and mount this like that. I prefer to put the tube back into the tire before I put it on the wheel or anything, because I find it goes much easier like this. Go all around till I have the whole shebang just the way I need it to be in order to mount it. See, and throw it back on the bike and I'll be able to ride. It's got 50 pounds of pressure on there. That should prevent it from rubbing again. Yeah, whatever happened there, it was probably due to low pressure and a lot of riding on bouncy roads. So over time, the way I done my studs, it'll cause a puncture. There are studded tires on the market that are better than what I use. They are expensive, and I'm not enough of a winter riding fan, as you may have found out in my other video about winter cycling sucks. Yeah, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe it's helpful. And I'll be posting more videos. Thanks for watching.